For more on the ANC provincial conference, we now cross live to our reporter Samkele Maseko, who is in Durban. Samkele, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So are we likely to see new leaders being announced today?
Well, Samkele, what we do know is that this morning delegates of the ANC in the province of KwaZulu-Natal are trickling in here at the Olive Convention Centre, where the nominations are set to begin this morning, where they will be nominating those whom they want to be in the officials of the party to lead this province. You do know that it is Siboniso Duma versus Sihlezi for the position of provincial chairperson. It is KwaZulu versus Nomakuku Similani for the position of deputy chairpersonship, and it is Mtumiseni Ntulu versus Begim Tolo for the position of provincial secretary. And also, when you go to the deputy provincial secretary position, it is Nontobeko Boyce versus Sipohlo Muga for the position of deputy provincial secretary. And then treasurer, it is Dr. Ntutugo Mahlaba versus Jomo Sibiya. Can we please just mute the sound in the background that is currently disturbing those whom may be wanting to hear this particular broadcast, as the contestation for this provincial conference is seemingly hotly contested. The shadow of former President Jacob Zuma lurks over this provincial conference, as you heard those delegates bursting into song, singing Wenzeni Uzuma.
And then in terms of slates then, Samkele, because slates have been a very thorny issue, especially in ANC politics and in ANC circles. Are we likely to see a particular slate emerging tops over the other?
Well, it's not more about slates in this provincial conference. Yes, the issue of slates, the issue of various perspectives and interest groups for this provincial conference are there, but the residents of KwaZulu-Natal are more concerned about basic service delivery needs and necessities that they need, such as water provision, electricity provision, issues of employment. For instance, if you go to the provincial chairperson's political report, Sihlezi Galala, it spoke extensively of how he alludes in his political report that residents and South Africans are rejecting the ANC at the polls, not because of issues of corruption, but more specifically on issues pertaining to the triple challenges of poverty, unemployment and underdevelopment, coupled with corruption, saying that when they go and do door-to-door, people are raising issues of job creation. They say, you know, we hear you about your fight against corruption, but what about our immediate bread and butter issues, employment, shelter, water provision, electricity? When you go to suburban areas, issues such as eradication of potholes, if you have those systems in place and if municipalities are able to perform their functions and oversight and make sure that the municipal bylaws are enforced, to make sure that issues pertaining to the livelihoods of the residents are adhered to make sure that we mitigate the high cost of living of South Africans, then it surely means that the ANC government will be delivering to the people, and the people will not be rejecting it at the polls like we saw in the recent local government elections. For instance, if you look now, Simpiwe, at the recent hikes in the interest rates by the Reserve Bank Governor, it means that the cost of living is high. It means that the cost of borrowing is high. Those whom are paying their bonds, their mortgages are going up. Those whom are paying car installments with banks, those car installments are going up. Those who've got credit card accounts, their repayments and their loans are going to be increased, because the cost of lending is going to be at roughly 9% when it comes to those whom lend money, or if you have debt in South Africa currently. So the issues of bread and butter issues and the high cost of living is at the top of the agenda and interests of those South Africans who may be feeling dejected and having no confidence in the ANC-led government. They are less concerned about the internal squabbles of the governing party or who leads the ANC come their 55th National Conference in December. For instance, if you look at the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwede Mantashe, in saying that the current board of Eskom and the Group C Chief Executive Officer of the power utility company Eskom, speaking to the Mail and Guardian, speaking extensively in saying that they don't have the requisite skills to turn the energy situation in the country around. Hence the proposal of an Eskom 2.0.
And then I suppose then that the July unrest last year, Samkele, was the clearest indication that people, in particular in KwaZulu-Natal, were so fed up with the service delivery failures at the hands of their government. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll touch base with you a little later on as the ANC KZN conference gets underway. That was our reporter Samkele Maseko in Durban, wherein the ANC KZN conference, or elective conference as it were, is underway.